Well, hello! Today is the first day of our holiday, 2018. We spent the night at Queenborough. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. We just let Winnie ashore to go for a wee. And now we're heading up to the Orwell. We're not sure which place we're going to stay on the Orwell yet, because last time we got there it was fully booked and we could only get like one night. So we're going to go up, and there's plenty of marinas or buoys or anchorages, so we will find something. Izzy's still asleep. Ian and Winnie are in the cockpit, and it's 6:30 in the morning now, and I'm hot. It's hot in the UK. I don't know how long this will last. The holiday video may end back in jumpers and salopettes, but at the moment this is hot. Unheard of.
Now, as those of you in the UK will know, this year had been one of the best, if not the best, on record. For the last 2 months, we'd regularly had temperatures up and over 30 degrees centigrade and very little rain. There was some wind, but it always calmed down in the evenings, so it'd been generally a pretty good year so far. So we headed off on our summer cruise. Obviously, that weather was about to change, but today wasn't too bad. It was warm, although there wasn't much wind, but I've long since learnt that for a family cruise, it's much better to have not much wind and have to have the motor on than it is to have too much wind, the boat leaning over, and then having to bash through the normal east coast chop that you get with wind over tide. It really can be pretty miserable.
Something you'd find in the shed.
Oh, I've got good colours for this.
With these colours?
This game was very simple. They would take 3 random pens out of a bag full of pens. Then I'd give them a subject, and they'd think of something to draw using the pens in just 1 minute. There were no winners or losers. There was no right or wrong answer. But it proved to be good fun and a great way of killing time on a long passage.
Well, have you got to guess each other's? So what's Izzy doing?
The heatwave isn't meant to last for too long. Right, I'm just going to do Ian and I some lunch as well. Probably it's been a right bundle of fun.
Baby, you're a boss.
Just going through the swins bit, the shallow bit. We got 3.4 at the moment. Dropping 3.3. Entering the river Orwell. It's so hot, it's beautiful. We've just felled the jib and I think we're probably half an hour away. We've already rang them up and they said to ring nearer when we get there. They'll allocate us some berths hopefully. Ian's even had a snooze and trusted me to navigate through lobster pots and shallows, but I did it.
Still a navigation mark and it's sitting on the back of the boat. How pretty is that? Come all the way from Belgium. So that was the journey up. Unfortunately, we had to motor all but about 10 miles of it, where there was just enough wind and just enough angle for us to coast along with the jib following the tide, but it was pleasant enough. The weather though was taking a dramatic turn for the worst, and although tomorrow wouldn't be too bad, the day after was set to be really miserable. So we'd only stay here one night, then we'd head further up the Orwell looking for somewhere to go where Elizabeth could have more fun. So this is day 2, Sunday, and although it's a bit overcast, it was actually a really nice day for a sail, even if we were only going a few miles up the river. But we pulled the sails up and had a really nice, relaxing sail up the Orwell to Fox's Marina, which isn't really the first place you'd think of when you think of somewhere to take your 10-year-old daughter to enjoy herself, but it'll all become clear when we get there.
You might as well put it in gear then, Nigel, because you're not going fast enough.
So this is Pin Mill. Why it's called Pin Mill, no one really knows, because there's never been a mill here that makes pins, or in fact anything else that the word pin could refer to. But what everyone thinks about around here when they talk about Pin Mill is the Button Oyster pub. It makes a great destination for a walk along the river.
It's very pretty, this little boat, except its tender is just about the same size as the boat. Which can't be right, can it?
So Foxes were really busy and didn't have any space, but they allowed us to raft up alongside the fuel berth. So as Pintail, the Victoria 34, is bigger than Seahorse, Hannah jumped onto their boat to help them get tied up, and Izzy and I would come alongside and raft up with them. All this was made a bit more complicated by this big trimaran.
We're in Foxes and this big trimaran is here. It's very impressive. I'm a bit perplexed by the steering system though. So the rudder comes out of the deck there into this kind of gantry bit where there's obviously a lever to turn, up to here to another lever, across to another lever, through into the centre console where there's a sort of a tiller bit. Looks very complicated. It's a very impressive looking boat.
Very cool boat.
The only problem is, as you can see, it's too big, I can't get it all in the picture, because this is Grandad's boat and our boat rafted up alongside it.
Stay there, Winnie.
As you can see, although it's only 40 foot long, Pintail and Seahorse together is only as wide as one half of it. We like Foxes. You get such a huge variety of boats in here, but we'll show you more about that in a little while. In the meantime, let's do what Izzy wants and go to the park.
Don't know if it was just my childhood or not, but do you remember these balsa planes? I found them online, so I bought one for Izzy. So Izzy's childhood could be like my childhood, because I used to fly these. We're not having much luck so far, are we, Izzy? Nearly flew that time.
Ducks are coming after me.
Ducks, could be bad.
Birds are coming after you. They're literally staring you down.
It's two seagulls staring mummy down.
Actually, it's my childhood.
We all had a good time at that park, but before we go, let's get back to the marina and talk boats again. You see, Foxes has a bit of everything, from the older and more commonplace family cruising boats to some of the more unusual creations that have come out over the years. There's bilge keelers, trailer sailors, motorboats. There's boats that have been around the world or seen a bit of action. There's small boats, there's old wooden boats, there's big wooden boats. You find most things. Some of them are really pretty and have clearly got a story to tell. And then you get the big posh boats, oysters and such like. Very expensive, go round the world kind of boats. But it doesn't just stop there. If you wander around the boatyard as well, there's some more unusual things. Huge racing boats. No idea how they got out into Foxes. You have to wonder how some of these boats even got here, with all the mud and shallow water we have on the east coast. Really not suitable at all. But then we also find a couple of old America's Cup boats. I guess America's Cup boats have to go somewhere. According to the internet, there's 4 of them at Foxes. I think we only found 2, and they've clearly been converted for something because they both had engines. But even though they're 30 odd years old now, they're still very impressive boats to behold. So anyway, that's Foxes Marina. We like the place. It's quite small, and there's a limit to what you can do here. But there's food on site, there's a beefeater across the road, a great park for the kids, as many boats as someone like I could ever want to wander around and have a look at. One of the best chandleries you'll find anywhere, and the yard will undertake just about any work you could ever possibly need. So if you've got something need doing on your boat, you could do a lot worse than take a look at Foxes.